maybe some thoughts of indigenous ways that you may not be present to or aware of. And so we're just going to give some prophecies. Come on. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And yeah. And we're going to start off with Chief Danny. You want to grab the mic, Chief? They had
Yowie! What's there? Honey, what's there? Well, we have all the elders and the. I'm humbled to be present today with United We Stand, as all the many nations people are here. We are from all the many nations. But in this way, I'm just going to take a moment, if you would, with me, and I'm asking my Lakshi, my uncle and elder Doug Redhill, as well as my young chief, John. As we've spoken about the sacred feminine, I was wondering whether or not the indigenous dialogue and conversation of sharing heart, of traditions and love and old ways in new world should include the voice of woman. Would you agree? In that, I would love to offer the invitation, at least to Alda Glover, given name, son coming up, my beloved, to join us and to share the wisdom of grandmother, Washi clan mother of the Choctaw Muskogee Yamasee Nation of our people, to be a part of the conversation that we are here, because we don't talk. We share heart here. Thank you for the beautiful words, Earth, Sun, and all the beauty of things, the beautiful dance of this granddaughter who brought the light to us. Also honor, great things. Prayers are dance. Prayers are songs. Prayers are words spoken in a good way as we come from this place. So with that, as I've been taught also, you put the flower in the middle. And so with that, we're here to possibly answer any questions. Young Chief? Keep going. All right. Good, good. Well, allow me to... Okay. I've been given an opportunity to speak on the Condor, Eagle, Quetzal prophecy. Some of you probably have heard of this. It's a long time prophecy, and there are a number of versions of the prophecy as it's been spoken. I walk the northern people, I also walk the southern people. And in that way, what I mean is I am also that of the people of Mexico and South America, as I am also people of Turtle Island people here, and in our ways. And in that prophecy of the eagle and the condor, ho he ha ke he ha. We call it condor people. We have condors here, so maybe we'll get a visit by the real elders here. And the eagle people, they're the Cuautli. And now what? It is Cuautli. All the Cuautli-outs, all the eagle warriors here, and the condor warriors. But the Quetzal has been part of and come into its place of all that is in between, as spoken. And I believe my Lakshi also has another that's part of the prophecy that he will share. I would love for him to share the story of the Weechling, the hummingbird, as it comes to him too, in the moments he has to share. This is supposed to be short, so as an elder, you're going to have to pull me off stage. But with that, let me just say this. The eagle is the male energy. It's been spoken. The strong male energy rises, carries the prayers to the highest place, moves above the storm, and flies through the storm like no other. The condor is the sacred feminine of the south, of all the sacred rivers, of all the oceans. And in the prophecy of the time, the Quetzal in between, if you see, is that of all the mystery, the mystic of all the nations put together in the in-between of the north and the south. So the prophecy speaks that when the eagle and the condor and the Quetzal come together in the circle of life as we are gathered here today, from the four directions, but especially the north and the south. It is the time when the prophecy of peace and harmony shall begin in its movement as we are doing so here. In the many times of many ways of elders that are still with us, because many of our elders have been leaving us to the other side camp, the words have been spoken that today we are all the living prophecies of our ancestors, of the prayers in our sweat lodges for 100 and 500 years. We are present today because we've been chosen. We've agreed that this would be the time, as I call the 3 C's, chaos, confusion, and catastrophic events, that we are present today in the circle of oneness, in the circle of allness, of love, unconditional. And here is where you demonstrate the power that lies within you about whether or not that you as a grandchild that is of your people, of your family, of your clan, of your nation, whether or not you're willing to walk this way. Hekok, the strong winds agree with truth is being spoken, because here is the one that I challenge you with. It's time to forgive the unforgivable. Ho! Ho! Time to say, I forgive you for doing all these things you've done to my people. It's time to say, I forgive you for all the things that you've done to my family, for all the things we've done to one another. It is time to forgive and to love and to bring strong the forward of courage to step onto the places that we need to from all the directions that we are. Well, with that, the sharing heart, giving the heart voice of truth, it is time we stand in our authority, stand as sovereign nation people that we are, and join together this movement of separation, of isolation, of masking up, keeps us from the knowingness of knowing things that we've always known, that the human touch is a healing touch. And the healing is in the feeling, not isolating, but bringing forward the power of life, the power of woman who gives life, the joy of our elders who carry our traditions, who speak the languages of those that have been lost. But we are not of the lost nations. We are of the nations now of the new Rainbow Warrior Tribe people from the 4 directions. We don't need a card that says I'm enrolled. All that is the colonizer saying quantum blood will separate you forever. We're not down with that. Are we many nations people? Are we a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a lot of the other one? We are many nations people here gathered. And in that spirit of many nations, we are of the one heart. We are of the one love, the one breath, the one song, the one prayer, the one dance, the one beat, the heartbeat of love, courage, strength, power. We walk together as one people and joined together by the water nation who we are. We may be in this earth suit, but we are flowing like water. And I'll say this and pass this on. When you come to the knowing, you begin in the flowing. And in the flowing, you begin to start the glowing. Ha ha! Glow on, family! Glow on! Okay!
Oh! Well, you felt the energy of the dolphin right there, ringing. That's the dolphin warrior. If you weren't aware, we'll just give another thought. When the wind comes, when the wind blows, that's our ancestors. So our ancestors, when you feel something different in someone who's on stage or maybe speaking or maybe who comes into your heart and you don't know what that energy is, or you can't explain when you feel something like that, that's not Uncle Danny, that's his ancestors that are behind him, that are here for you, to support you and support everything on this land. So, a hold of you, Uncle Danny, Grand Chief Danny, and we want to, yeah, you could do that. So we're going to bring it over to the mother, and we'll just give you what you want to offer and what prayer and what way you want to like give your expression to our family out here.
Greetings. I'm Alda Glover, also named Sun Coming Up. And in a formal introduction, I will tell you that my father was Alden Glover. He was Passamaquoddy and Micmac, and African from parts unknown. My mother was Gertrude Glover, who was Mashpee and African parts unknown, all both from the East Coast, which is where I was raised. I stand here today on Chumash land, and I want to honor that. The beauty of this land, the energy, the love that you feel from this land has been here for longer than 3 days. It's increased in the last 3 days, but it's been here for centuries because of the ancestors that were the caretakers of this land. Not the owners, but the caretakers. The people that knew that they were a part of this land and the land became a part of them. And I just want to acknowledge that. Danny said we're many nations people. That people there's so many mixed people now, and that's come from love. And we need to continue to gather together in that love because that's what supports us, that's what's bringing us together, that's what's affecting the change. Things are at a critical point, and we all chose to be here, to be a part of that, to be a part of correcting, to bringing things together, to raising up that love, to raising things to a higher vibration. And I just want to thank you all for being a part of that. Thank you all for acknowledging that. And to know that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the solution. We come from our hearts, and that will just make it right. That's what will make it real. And as our brother said, acknowledging that these are our relatives. The trees and the water, the ground, the insects, the flying ones, the creepy crawlies, these are all our relatives. We're in this together. We're losing species that were here for a reason. And we just need to respect each other and respect our land. Oha, takio asun. Thank you.
Omi takiapi. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Sister. One of the things that we talk about, the eagle condor prophecy, the north and the south, a lesson was taught to me out of South America, the Amazon, when Taita Byron came out of the Amazon. Taita spoke no English. I don't even think he spoke Portuguese. I think he spoke in clicks and whistles of the people of his kind. He was raised up until around the age of 10 or 12 in isolation because he was recognized as being special in that way, born of the earth, not so much of humans. And Taita Byron got activated late in his life. And this is a story from my meeting of Taita Byron. It's told in South America at a certain time that there was a little girl and she was in the jungle and she was going about her day. And she was in the village, she was in the community. And people in the community saw a hummingbird fly up to her. And it flew up to her ear. And it whispered in her ear. And it spoke with her. And after when the hummingbird flew away, she collapsed. And it took a few days to bring her back into this world. And when she did, she gave a message that all it said was she started to speak a language that she was not a part of. And the women in the village heard her message that she needed to go and find this person in the jungle where no other tribe should be going. And so they journeyed for days into weeks, and they came across this village. And that's where they found Taita Byron, and she gave him the message from the hummingbird, and it's known as the hummingbird prophecy. And the hummingbird prophecy is there are a lot of indigenous wisdom holders across the world from different nations, from different places, from different lands. And that it is now time, when colonization was happening across America for the last 500, 750 years, just across the world, that we are supposed to take our medicines and our lessons and our teachings and hide them away because people were coming to take them. It was no use for them in the type of life they wanted to create. As a matter of fact, it was a threat to the type of life they were trying to manufacture on this planet. The hummingbird language was spoken to Taita Byron, and Taita Byron knew that at the end of his life he needed to come here to the northern people, to the people of the Eagle Nations. And he brought his medicine and his secrets and his teachings. And I was sitting in a circle with him, with his medicine, and it must have been, it's the day star broke, and he called me over, and he shared with me one of the lessons about land. And we think of land, and when we talk about we're all related, we think of land as separately. We think that we're here in North America, and there's another continent across the body of water, and yet there's another continent in the south and some in the north. We think of ourselves as separate, but we're not. There's really two concepts. There's the immovable, and there's the movable and the flowing. All land is connected. It never stops. It is toroidal. The only thing that moves around is water, bodies of water, oceans, but we're all from the exact same land. It's under our feet. The land just happens to go into the ocean, but it rises somewhere else. And that's why we're all from the exact same place. We're all indigenous to Mother Earth. And that was the lesson that he shared with me, is to, when I think about the land, don't ever think about separation. And when I think about the water, don't ever think about separation. It's all connected. Aho, itake o asin.
Appreciate you all. If anybody has any question, you can ask a question. I will give you one more message. It's a deep message. It's a message of the reason why most of you don't know what Yamasee is or never heard of Yamasee. Yamasee means the grandmother. And the Holukbi, the Rainbow Warrior Tribe, the No Color Lines nation, and it's led by the feminine. And this thing called the North and South War that was supposed to free the slaves, been told a little different story. That's the Gola Wars, and the Gola Wars was to basically enslave the fact that Aboriginal people, or what you think is black people, or from Africa, were already here for millions of years on this land. And these pyramids that you think that are only in Egypt and in Mexico are right beneath your feet. And this place that you call Mayan is in Tennessee. It is in North and South Carolina. All the pyramids are all in the Americas, and even in California. And take a little trip up to Utah and to Arizona, and you will see it a little different, where the real Isis pyramids are. And so it's a deep reminder to remember this, that the Yamasee was never defeated by the Brits, because the Brits couldn't defeat them. So they had to be tricked and manipulated by a thing which you call paper chief. And a paper chief is what happened with the Cherokee, which I am also Cherokee, which is not actually the word, is Tamashi. The paper chief is when the Brits came and killed a chief until the chief would answer or listen to what they said. And finally, one paper chief, after they killed about 10 men, came over and what would you call, ambushed the Yamasee. So the only reason why the Yamasee lost to the Brits is because they thought the Cherokee were coming to support them, but they weren't. But that was not the Cherokee's fault. So it's a story that's never been told. It's a story that will be told and will be reminded. Especially the most important part of this is the story of the feminine. And when you do not allow feminine, what we just said, to put the feminine always had, the grandmothers always had the position for if a man or a chief wanted to go to war, all they had to do was take out the feather, and the chief had no protection. So the only time you can go to war is if a grandma said that, and that probably wasn't that many times. So this is really bringing back the feminine qualities and the balance that they deserve and the respect that they hold in this space. And it also brings back the connection between what we perceive as Mexican and First Nation and Black and white and Nordic and what we call the Vikings. So in our nation, it is your soul. And I know some people think, maybe they heard the word melanin and they think that means because you have dark skin. That is true. But the melanin is the ethers. It's an ether. It's in your pineal gland. So if you have the spirit, doesn't matter what color you are. If you're white, if you think you're white and you can't show up and pray to the land and connect and be a part of a nation, that is not true. Because indigenous means salt of the land. So wherever your ancestors came from, you are indigenous. So whatever color, whatever race you are indigenous to this land, to Turtle Island, to all of this land. So remember that. So remember, like, when you feel something, don't be scared to show up for yourself and be yourself, because you are indigenous, you are melanated, and you have an ancestry. And that ancestry is much deeper than you think. And that's what Yamasee, that's the prayer of Yamasee is bringing back, that we all come together and we're all supported as one nation, as one community. And like the brother said, as the water flows, I don't know where he is, but it's so important. So that's my space, and I'll give you the Nile River. May not be the Nile River, maybe the Mississippi River, just to give you a little thought. Things are flipped. So that is, we have Octavius, who's next? Yeah. So wait, does anybody have any question? Anybody have a question about anything? Anybody? You guys all warmed up? You guys got full bellies of information? You feeling good? Yeah? Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate you, and we appreciate all of you, and appreciate your presence and your love and your heart. Yeah. Let's do it.
I was thinking that too.
We're gonna sing a Shuma song about. We're talking about ancestors, Uncle Danny.
Can you use your clapper?
Yeah, it's oh, okay. Since we are on Chumash land, as we've all have made mention of it, you know, it was always honoring the ancestors, of course, in that good place. And the people have walked here long before, and their spirit is still here. And I'm going to sing the Chumash song. Some of you know it. Some of you have been in sweat lodges and some ceremonies. It's repetitive, as most songs are, because it's a prayer. But this is also called the Dolphin Song of the Chumash, but it's also the ancestral song. I've been given permission to sing the song by... oh, good, yeah. I've been given permission to sing this song by Ernie Perez Sales, who is chief medicine man of the Tongva Quiche people, part of the nations of California coastal, but it's also known very well among the Chumash nations of people. And so just to honor that, because we are so deep into this beautiful land of the Chumash as well. This is a common song that's known between the nations here on the coast as coastal people. So with that, my beloved speaks of that being 3 rounds, right? 3 rounds. So when you can, just feel free to follow along with it, hum, bring that vibration from within, and fall in love with who we are as we are together today. All right. Hey, 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 yum deva. Hey, 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 yum deva. Hey, 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 yum deva. Hey, 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 yum deva. Hey, 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 yum deva. Hey, 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 yum deva. The yum deva, yum deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Yom Deva, Yom Deva. Last one. You can sing along with us. But you could whisper it too, because they got to hear long ways from all these ancestors coming in. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Hey, 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 Yom Deva. Oh, Yom Deva, Yom Deva. Oh. You know, the standing tall people that are all around you, you call trees, are saying very much thank you so much for singing a song we know. Oh.